Are you a person who's wondering what does it take to win in the property world, especially Airbnb? Today, I've got a pioneer, I've got a trailblazer, I've got someone who's really leading the pack in our city, having a conversation with him today. Hello, my name is Nhlaka Hadebe, and welcome to All Things Leadership Podcast, where we believe that every believer is a leader, and you do not start from where you hope to be, but you start from where you are. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Nhlaka. Oh, welcome. Nhlaka. Yeah. Ngiyaqala actually ukulizwa igama lakho lithi Nhlaka.
Yeah, Nhlaka.
You know. Thanks for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. Bro, out of everything that you chose to do in the world of property, why Airbnb?
Like most things, I think some things you kind of stumble upon them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a level of just assessing the situation of where you're from and the mistakes that you made in the past. So we've had a couple of properties, my wife and I, and we've had long-term tenants always. And so the problem came when, like, the problems and the issues of long-term tenants. Sometimes they don't pay, and you have these issues with these tenants. And we had some difficult tenants as well. And especially in this one property, we had some really, really difficult tenants, which were making it difficult for everybody else living on that property.
Sure.
So when the one tenant moved out because of these other ones, we thought, let's do something different. We're tired of this headache. Let's try something different. And so that's how we ended up in an Airbnb and starting. And we had some friends in the space, and so that helped as well. We could pick up the phone call. But we had a 15-minute conversation, me and my wife, and the rest is history, yeah.
Wow, bro.
We've just decided this is the path that we're taking. And I really do believe that in terms of property and where the property market is currently, and actually for a long time, if we look historically, multi-letting and short-term stays historically do better. And it's just about how you set it up and guiding people to your place instead of going to others, I guess. But the market is there, the demand is there.
Bro, you live in Maritzburg.
Yeah.
There's a demand in Maritzburg, out of all places.
So this is something that I get a lot as well, is that is the demand in such a city as Maritzburg, small city. But what we've discovered, and we discovered it as when we opened up the first unit, is, and some things you learn along the way.
Yeah.
We discovered that there is a lot of demand in Maritzburg. Excuse me. So for a small city, we have the Duzi, we have Comrades, we have all these big sporting events. There's SA swimming champs, there's downhill racing, there's all of these big sporting events which people come to the city for. Other than that, outside of those, there's also people which come through Maritzburg from Durban, going on their way to Johannesburg. So there's a lot of people which are coming just to stay the night. Some people which are part of businesses which have, they stay here for a couple of days and then they're on their way. So we run an occupancy rate between 90 to 96% month on month. Yeah, there's a lot of demand in Maritzburg, and I think it's underserved. There's moments when, especially when you have the big sporting events, Maritzburg is normally you can't find accommodation, leading to some people just deciding to stay awake or just coming in from outside of town the night before. Yeah, so for a small town, it really is busy. Then we have some fantastic schools. We have all these big schools, Maritzburg College, GHS. Those are big sporting schools. People come from outside of town to come in and have, and they watch these festivals. There's the rugby festivals. There's a lot going on in our small city.
Sure.
A lot more demand than what people would think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a proper plug. That's a proper plug, bro.
Yeah.
And what makes an Airbnb a good Airbnb? What's the minimal standard, bro?
That's a difficult question to ask. My answer to that is that I think if you look at your own market, because something about Airbnb and bookings.com is that you can go online and you can see what the market looks like. Right? You can search for the people which are around in your area. You can search on bookings.com, Airbnb. You can see what the standard is in your area, in your city. Somewhere like Cape Town looks vastly different than somewhere like the Midlands, KZN. And also some people have different styles. I mean, if you go outside to the Midlands, KZN, that's rural farm style living. It's very different to what you find in city. And so what makes a good Airbnb, what makes a good short-term rental, I think if you yourself are happy to stay there and you are willing to spend your own money and stay there, I think that's probably a good baseline. The ethos that we've used is that actually our Airbnbs are much better than the place that we sleep at night. It's got a better bed, it's got better sheeting, it's got Egyptian cotton. We've really gone above and beyond in terms of making it a place that people want to stay at. We got quick internet. We have, we have things that when we check that the things work, we check that you have beautiful laid out showers and things that people want and to experience, and people that things that people want to, a place that people want to stay at. So what makes a good Airbnb? I think that firstly look at what your city is. And so maybe Cape Town, we might not measure up amongst but certainly, where we've based ourselves, we pride ourselves in being amongst the best,
Sure, bruh. And did you start like that though?
No.
Okay.
No.
How did it start? Because you've had to jump through certain hoops to get to the stage you are at right now to want to serve people premium. Where did it start? What did it look like before?
So it was always of a certain standard, but I get what you're asking. I think the question is that there was a point where we just decided to start. We took the pictures that we could take and we just decided that we're going to start.
Nice.
And for many people, they stuck at that point. They want to start and then they do something, but they don't feel like they have a good enough product. But the point of this is just to start and learn along the way and then improve along the way. When we started, we didn't have things like, you walk into our rooms now and you have diffusers and you have dehumidifier. We're trying to make the space as comfortable as possible. But when we started, we didn't have a dehumidifier, we didn't have a diffuser, we didn't even have aircon. Wasn't even a fan to begin with. So along the way, I think 2 weeks in, we're in December, somebody calls me and says, listen, it's quite hot in this room. And that's when it clicked that maybe I didn't put a fan inside.
Sure.
And we live in Maritzburg, so it gets quite hot. And so it's willing to just start and learn along the way. We didn't know that the place gets quite humid because it's a property that we don't stay at. So you find out along the way that through trial and error that actually it does get quite humid. Having a dehumidifier just makes the air a bit more crisp within the room. So starting, I would say don't be afraid to start messy, but just start. I think that's the most important thing. Start and you'll improve along the way.
Sure.
But don't start with something that is inherently bad, or inherently going to bring harm to people or something like that. And also, I think your definition, I was talking to somebody else about this the other day, doing the same thing, consulting, because they're like, I have the small room, I don't know what to do with it, it's really tiny. I said, well, what is your market? Are you trying to get somebody who's just trying to pass through town and they're just looking for a bed to stay? Then if you're trying to get like a truck driver or something, this is plenty of space. This is actually a great location. This is it's got everything that you need. But if you're trying to get couples going away on a romantic dinner, then this isn't.
Then we've got a problem.
Then we got a. But your market and also your pricing, and then how would you price it? Obviously, it's more when you come to a fancier, more premium product. But when it comes to something that serves people, but serves them well, not everybody's going to need sandwich ham, but we all enjoy polony. You get what I'm saying? There's a market for both, but don't because you are serving the lower end of the market, if I can call it that.
Influence is no longer built in boardrooms or meeting rooms. Now it's built in your voice. At A46 Tech Studios, we make podcasting so simple, polished and professional. No need to stress about technical stuff or learn about equipment. Only just your voice, your story, and your impact. Whether you're a CEO, a coach, a change maker, or a content creator, this is your moment. 2026 belongs to the voices that prepare now. Click the link below to join our waitlist.
Don't put out a product that's not good. There's still an opportunity to put out a product that is good. At least make the bed comfortable. At least make the place smell nice. At least have working utilities and things like that. There's ways around it which is not expensive, but helps you get into the game and starting and get your ball.
Sure. You were commenting the other day when you were advising me, or what you. Ladies mostly look at the Airbnb and they are, what do you say? They look at the kitchen and the bathroom.
Look at the kitchen and the bathroom. So I find, and again, this is, I'm obsessed about learning the clients and what serves them best. Often you can make this mistake, especially as a business owner. You think that I know best. Let me put everything that I like there, and then people will like it.
Yeah,
it's not the case. And so when you look at the data and you look at who books. So for us, most of our bookings are done by the ladies. In fact, when they get to our gate and they call us, it's often the guy which has to give the phone over to his wife because like, I didn't see the details, I didn't know about this, like type of thing. And so it's looking at the data and saying, okay, so it's normally the ladies which make the bookings. What is important to women, and thankfully I have a wife which can bounce these things off.
Yeah.
So like small little things like a full mirror, full body mirror, in the right position, very helpful. With the right lighting on it, very helpful. They like to take photos with the full body mirror.
Yeah.
So don't put the mirror where there's a toilet. Put the mirror where there's something nice behind it, like a nice kitchen or thing. Change the lighting. So we put down lightings in the room, but we're very strategic about where we put the full body mirror. The kitchen has to be nice. The kitchen has to look a certain way. And so I don't think that our kitchens are like top of the top, but we just lit them up nicely, put a little flower in the corner, put some things around them, just to make it look a bit more appealing.
Yeah.
And then the showers, we've really made sure that the showers are one of the things that
you feel the rain from heaven, hot rain.
It has to be, it has to. I mean, the showers that we have in those units are better than the showers that we have at home. They really are. They really are stunning. And so, but we've gone to and not like at great cost. We haven't like put like gold or anything like that. But little things like that matter. And so even in the one room we have a place where you can do your makeup. But not only that, we have a big mirror where you're doing your makeup and lighting from above.
Oh, it's dope.
So
bro.
it's that little touch. You know, we could have just had the mirror and you can do your makeup there, but the little touch of, okay, so here's a place, and there's a place also where you can hang your dress for events and things like that.
Sure.
So things that women would normally look at, which guys are not concerned about the details.
At all, bro.
At all. Guys just want to know, is it safe?
Yep.
Is there a place where I can park the car nice and safely?
Yeah.
And then that's it. Is it comfortable? The rest is,
Sure.
Do you have good enough internet? And
yeah, bro. Yo, that is really gold. I remember when I came across you, bluff.
Yeah.
You know, at the butchery. Nyama. We are proper Nyamatarians. But you were telling me about this great adventure of yours of Airbnbs, and I was just like, what a great plug. You know, it communicates something about you being a leader, not wanting to withhold information, but to help others. You know, what are some of the values that drive you to want to share knowledge with other people?
I believe that anybody that's doing what you are doing, and I've been fortunate enough to be in industries where people were top of their industries, doing great things within their industries. Never once did anybody who was 10, 30 years where I need to be and want to be, ever discourage me.
Sure.
And so, in fact, the more I ask questions, the more they make time for me. And so I've been in many business owners' houses late after the office hours have ended, just asking questions. And they've been so free with the information. And I found out that when you're speaking from a position of actually doing what you're doing and you're happy and content in what you're doing, it's much more easier to offload information. Because I want to see you succeed.
Sure.
It's worked for me. Mm-hmm. And I think there's something so joyous for something, and especially as Christians, the gospel is close to us and we share it easily because it has changed my life.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt about it changing my life. And I don't have any regrets in telling you that the gospel has changed my life. And
sure.
So it's something that I share freely and openly. Coupled with the fact that when I first started off, in my early years, my first job was in a bookkeeping firm. And I was able to help it grow, and I became a partner there. And I found myself running the Maritzburg office, and we had about 50 clients, which I was overseeing, along with the office of about four staff members. And I remember during those times that having a lot of talk, because we would also consult, so we talk with a lot with the business owners, and there's something about that which I absolutely loved. I loved being able to talk to business owners and be able to consult them at a level that they could understand, using numbers obviously, but also you had this unfair advantage because we served 50 clients. So I could tell you what the one client was doing that was working for them, that I can transfer to you so that it can, it might work for you. Because if they succeeded, we succeeded as well. The busier they got, the busier we were. But it was just about, how can we help you be a better business owner,
sure.
entrepreneur? And something that makes me, I have a lot of time for that.
Sure.
It really drives my engine. And so when I see people wanting to enter into the space, and I'm probably in the past year I've been consulting about 6 people now.
Wow.
In terms of this space, Airbnb.
Yeah.
Just recently I have 2 people which I've just was speaking about this about in the past 2 weeks. It's something that it's worked and it's been great for us, and it's something that I'd gladly invite anybody else to join in, and especially to see you flourish, to see you take off in that space, because I really do believe that at the moment, and if you look at the market even globally, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
If you're sitting with property that you can turn into an Airbnb, I don't know why you're not doing it.
Sure.
Yeah. Unless if you don't need the money.
We need the money.
Unless if we find.
We need the money. So bro, in a month, there's about 31 days.
Yeah.
How many days we booked?
So as I said, we run about 90 to 95% occupancy. So we are booked most of the nights. And again, there's something else that I should explain, is that with short-term rentals, the beauty of it is that if somebody hasn't booked by a certain time, you can go online and you can drop your price, right? Because it's later on during the night, and somebody will book it at a certain price. At a certain price, somebody will book it, right? And so there's that flexibility that you have. During the week as well, normally companies book, and then companies are repetitive as well, so you have that advantage as well. So somebody will be coming here to build. We have a client which builds kitchens, so they'll book week after week after week for 4 or 5 months. Bro. Yeah, so there's definitely repeat business, and if you treat customers well, they come back. So we booked most nights. At first, you know what? When we did our first unit, my wife and I were like, Lord, we don't know when we're gonna get our first booking. We just don't know. But what we decided to do is that before the place was ready, we took pictures of like the nice pictures, and it wasn't fully ready according to our standards, and we put it online. And then we're like, first day goes, no booking, and we're like, maybe this thing. Second day goes, somebody books, but they book like we're in December. They're booking for like June, and when I check the dates, it's the Comrades Marathon. I'm thinking, is this a scam? What's going on?
Yeah.
But very shortly after that, people started booking for days after, and then you have your first client and you're sweating bullets because you're thinking, I hope they're enjoying the place and all of this thing.
You hope it's not traumatic.
You hope it's not traumatic. Even though you know that it's good, but like you're just kind of running through the motions.
Yep.
Until you get to a place where you just don't like. It got to a place. I remember when me and my office and we were talking the one day, and like. It got to 6 o'clock and somebody hadn't booked like the last unit which we had outstanding. Like that's just really weird for us because now we used to by a certain time it should be booked.
Sure.
But again, God's grace each and every day because you don't know, that the fact that we get bookings and people come in and they book on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It's just God's grace and God's kindness towards us. We try and do what we do and we do it well to the best of our abilities. And each and every year we're learning. So our drive as well is that we don't want customers to come in this year and next year come back to the same place. You must feel wowed the following year if you're coming back. So people which are coming for sporting events like comrades, and so when we first started we didn't have alarm codes or anything like that. But people which do downhill come with their bikes and they're like 200,000, 300,000, or they're up there.
Yeah.
Right? And so they will put their bikes inside the house and then they'll go and have dinner and things like that. So having an alarm system just adds a little peace of mind to the...
100%.
And so little things like that where last year it wasn't like this, but this year... you have now your alarm system.
You're moving from glory to glory.
Yeah, you have to. We're big on reinvesting and making the place better and better.
Sure.
And so we have goals for the year, how it must look like by the end of the year. Do we achieve all of them? No. But we achieve at least 90%, which is good enough.
Yo, that's amazing, bro. Tell me about the cost, bro.
Okay, we're talking numbers.
Yes, we're talking numbers, and you're most likely the numbers guy, right? Let's talk about the cost of, because we are reinvesting this money into the business. There's someone who's going to come and have to clean the place and all this other little cost that you were not ready for, right? How does it affect the whole booking system in your world? Or do you break even? Do you do negative, or do you make profit?
No, we're definitely profitable. And so I think, Airbnb is one of those businesses where, because our prices are online, it's very easy to kind of go and figure out what people are sort of making, of the business. And so if somebody is charging 500 Rand a night and they booked 20 nights, that's 10K from the one unit. And then you can work backwards from there. Is it worth it? Is it not? 10,000 Rand off a one room place, booked 20 days a night. I would say from what you can get from a unit like that, maybe you might get 4.5 in our city, maybe even less than that. My neighbor rents out his flat for a bit less than that. And so is 10, and then now you need to work backwards. So from 10,000 Rand now you start to think, okay, cleaning fees, how much can, some people have maids which they're already paying, and maybe your maid is not doing some work during the day, she can do changeovers and things like that. And so there's a way to leverage costs. But I can't answer for specifically each and every single person.
And then the admin, how does it work in terms of the admin that the Airbnb platform charges towards you, like the homeowners?
So it's different for each platform. So bookings.com, the most used platform in South Africa, it does charge a percentage. That percentage is changing, and also depending on which tier you are on, the percentage also changes slightly. Yeah.
Okay. So it ranges from what to what, maybe?
I wouldn't be able to tell you off the top of my head, but I can give you an example. Excuse me. So for a room, maybe if I'm renting out a room for 650, they're gonna take about 100 Rand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Is that like in the worst case?
That's worst case scenario. That's worst case scenario. Airbnb takes a bit less, and is a bit better in terms of that ratio. But again, then you have clients which then come to you directly after a while, which helps shave off that additional cost.
Yeah.
But either way, I think you'd be very happy to pay that fee because they platform you to an audience that you wouldn't otherwise have.
True.
And so it's. I don't see a problem with it taking, because also you price, everybody's pricing themselves with the mindset of bookings.com is going to take a cut.
100%.
And so we all can't be making a loss, if that makes sense. So if the market is charging a certain amount in the area, then if you're charging that amount or even less, you'll still come out at the other end with good figures.
Okay, no, that's good.
Yeah.
So I've got a place, then I need to register it on Airbnb and bookings.com. So they don't work together. No. It's two separate platforms.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that is so cool, bro. Yeah. You sound so clear in your communication, and passionate about this property subject matter. What drives you, bro? What motivates you on every day to wake up and work and grind?
I like a lot of men out there. I have a family to feed.
Sure.
It's a huge motivator.
It is.
Got two beautiful girls. Got a wife. And they come with a cost.
Sure.
And a cost which I signed up for, so I'm not blaming anybody else.
The cost that's beyond Lobola.
A cost that, and so with that there is, when you ask me what drives me, I'd be lying to say that, if I was on my own, I don't think I'd be as driven or as ambitious. I think I'd just be like, okay, this is enough for me, and I can. But when you're trying to leave something for your kids, when you're trying to, build something for your wife, it drives you. It really does. And so I don't think that I'm any more or less driven than the average man just trying to do the best they can for their family. So that's what drives me. And then too, I do have a passion for business. I love business. I've been involved in business for more than 14 years now.
Sure.
I've ran big operations. I've consulted in small operations, and I really love the idea of business and the freedom that business can bring to people. I do, and we were talking earlier on, is that I really do believe that business is the one vehicle proven over time to take you to financial freedom. And so if you look at generational thing, that and education, but more than anything, if you couple those two together, then you've got a powerhouse.
True.
But business is consistent in terms of allowing people to get into spaces where and I think business is the rock bed of society. Without business, you don't have, business is the backbone of society. It really is, because everybody is part of a business or transacting in some way. Whether when you choose to go and buy bread, or whether you choose to go and recycle cans at the scrap metal, you're engaging in business the whole time. And so there's something which makes me tick about it. I really love that.
Sure, bro. Let's just speak about like the power of valuing your product or your service. You're making an example about plumbers, who would give the same service but at a different price point. What makes the guy who's cheaper price that way, and what makes the other guy price premium? What is it about the mindset that needs to shift with us, that we think would just have this smolanyana product and I can just do this just a little bit of a little thing about it? How can I make my product or service of high value?
So there's I'm trying to figure out how to answer this question best. So the difference, so you're asking that what makes a person price on the higher end of the market and price on the
and they're giving the same service, bro.
And what's the mindset behind it? I think you hit the nail on the head. Is mindset. What is your mindset, and what value are you bringing? We make the assumptions that people are paying for the product, and sometimes people are paying for the holistic experience on as a whole.
I repeat,
and so,
people are not paying for the
For
product.
only, yeah.
People are paying for the holistic
experience. And so when we're talking about plumbers, let me make an example. Some people will pay extra just for the plumber to come dressed in a nice golf t-shirt, clean tools, presented well, right? And they'll feel safer. Not to say that they'll just feel, because you're inviting a plumber into your house, you want to think, then somebody who comes in and they're scrappy and they might be able to do the job fantastically, both of them, but people will pay a premium and will feel a certain way about, even if your van has a sticker on it, or if you just appear a bit more professional, if you seem to take pride in what you're doing as a business yourself, people wanna support that. People are like, well, then you're gonna take care of my things. If you can take care of your things as a business, then I'm pretty sure that you can take care of whatever needs that I have as well. And so people will pay a premium for the holistic experience.
Sure.
People will pay a premium even if if I know, for me, if the person's thought about I'll give you an example. There's a place that we went to in the Berg, and I paid a bit extra because I was like, this place really looks nice. But more than anything, I just really like the fact that they seem to put so much thought into people arriving, the little things. For example, they made sure that as you drive in your car, they know that the area is quite dark because it's out in the thing. So there's lighting. So for me, with kids and small little things,
100%.
and I'm paying for the holistic experience. Was it the greatest B&B in the Midlands? No, it wasn't. But I'm paying for the whole experience. I'm paying for. So I think more than anything is to try and find out what is important to your clients, and then don't be arrogant enough to think that you know from the onset. Don't make that mistake. Always be looking for feedback. Always be asking questions. Always be trying to find out what are people actually looking. What is important to people.
Sure.
Now I was shocked when we were running the Airbnb is that we put so many things in there and we thought, no, people are gonna like this and people are gonna like this. Then you come in and then you start to study it and you're like, people didn't touch that. People didn't bother about that, and all this effort that we did to. But then the areas which you overlooked is like, okay, so people really like to. We noticed that where we put like a little reading corner, people had moved things around when they go in there. And we thought, why are people even going in there? It's like, it's the corner, it's like somewhere far.
Yeah. We
just put like a little couch there because we thought we just needed to fill the space.
Yeah.
But because we saw that people liked going there, now all of a sudden we started putting card games on the little shelf next to it.
100%.
And see people engaging with those things.
Sure,
and see. So it's about studying about like what are the things that people are, and because you won't know from the onset. But over time, if you dedicated to try and find out what is important to your clients, then you start to then people will pay a premium. People will come back and they'll pay a premium.
Sure.
Influence is no longer built in boardrooms or meeting rooms. Now it's built in your voice. At A46 Tech Studios, we make podcasting so simple, polished, and professional. No need to stress about technical stuff or learn about equipment. Only just your voice, your story, and your impact. Whether you're a CEO, a coach, a change maker, or a content creator, this is your moment. 2026 belongs to the voices that prepare now. Click the link below to join our waitlist.
Yeah.
So now, speaking about, you need to be able to brand well, and to package well.
Yeah.
Because there's also like the psychology of packaging things well. I always make an example about the iPhone, with people you still keep the box that you bought your iPhone with because the packaging was so well. It's so good, bro. It's kept simple, but the experience of unboxing your phone is
an event on its
it's an event on its own, so so we need to put thought into how we package izinto. You see I even think ukuthi the same vegetables and fruits that we see downtown in Matafleni the same vegetables and fruits we find at Woolies. It's just like the packaging and the holistic experience is different. Is Airbnb the only business you're interested in?
I've just come out of the world of I was based as in the accounts department of a business I was running. I was actually my previous work. I was running a whole operation, and so started then to try and to go into business. And so we've tried out a number of businesses. Currently, the ones which I'll share now is the Airbnbs. The long-term property stays, and then also the furniture business. I run a business called Dearly Beloved.
Yeah,
we sell second-hand furniture, and then there's businesses in the media space that I've started out at the beginning of this year, which I'm really excited about. That more than anything, I think I really am excited about at the moment.
Sure.
And then there's the expanding of what we have within those businesses. And so Airbnb, we're now expanding into another property, and with Dearly Beloved, we just finished building a workshop for it, and so
that's dope, bro.
And even just last week we started, because I realized that the second-hand market, you're not always going to get the stuff that you need to sell off. Yeah. And so now we actually started making some patio benches and things like that. So something that I can control. I can always buy what we can. Now we have inputted the skill set, and now
that's amazing, bro.
So the businesses themselves, more input to try and grow them. And then I think the digital space I'm really excited about.
Sure.
I think it is the future.
Yeah.
If you're not entering into the digital space at this current moment, I think you are really missing what the future will have.
Yeah.
And you can't be in business and not be digital.
Sure.
You can't be.
Sure, yeah. Bro, you sound so focused. Were you always focused, and are there any specific people who have influenced your leadership as you've been growing up?
Very, very good question. There's a lot of people which have influenced my leadership, and I think focus comes with having something that you are excited about focusing on. Some people are very focused on playing certain PlayStation games, and so I don't think. I think once you marry your passion along with what you do, and even though it comes with the parts where you don't really enjoy, there's something in you which comes out naturally.
Sure.
And so my focus comes from, yes, I'm very passionate about business. This is all I've known. This is what I've worked in, and then also just there's something competitive in me. I just want to be in the game. You know what I mean? Like, put me in the game. Like, coach, let me play.
Yeah.
There's something inside of me which just I want to compete.
Sure.
I want to compete. I want to, and I'm not. I don't over romanticize the idea of what it does mean to compete, and so it is hard. Business does not look like what we see on TV.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of background hard work. There's 100%. A lot of day-to-day mundane, boring things, systems to put in place. But that's part of the game, and I love being part of the game. And so
sure.
Let me play.
Yo, that's amazing, bro. And how do people get a hold of you who are watching this episode?
To get a hold of me personally, I do have. We started off a TikTok page called the Zungos.
Yeah.
That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. So
through the wife, bro.
Through the wife,
filter things.
And then in terms of the Airbnb businesses, one of them is called At the Decks, so you can find that anywhere online. And then the digital media space. Just watch the space. Things are coming. There's some ebooks which I'm busy with. Things to help entrepreneurs as well. To try.
I'm going to be the first person to read that book.
I'll send you a copy. Send you a copy. The first one launches this Friday. It's called The Art of Start. And just
bro, The Art of Start.
Yeah, it's dealing with the psychology, because lots of people, and I have lots of friends within business, and some of them trying to get into business, and they struggle with this. How do we start? Where do we start? And mostly as entrepreneurs, we're never short on ideas, but we just need that off-ramp. And so it's book really directed in how do I help you with the ideas that you have, help you find a pathway to where you should start, and then you should start.
For sure, sure. Yo, that's amazing, bro. Then this is the last one. I'd like you to pick up the phone.
Okay. Is this why this phone is here?
This is why this phone is here, right? So, I'd like you to call Ukumsega Zungu at 18 years old and give him some advice for 40 seconds. What would you say to him?
Shisha. Can I put it on speaker or basta?
Yeah, kuluma na kanje.
Okay. At 18 years old.
Yeah. What do you say to your 18-year-old self?
And God has had to teach me a lot during that time. Okay. Okay. 18-year-old me talking now on the phone. I'm talking to my 18-year-old self. I would tell him to ask more questions, be inquisitive, know that you're capable, know that you can figure things out, know that you are still in the training phase, and so don't be in a rush to try and prove yourself to people around you. And then most of all, I'd say fear God above all else. Read more than just a couple of proverbs a day. Read them and imprint them on your heart, and run with everything that the book of Proverbs has, and you'll be fine. And marry the wife. Marry the wife that you have 2 beautiful kids with. She changes everything.
That's it.
Yeah.